Hello,
Hello.
welcome to yet another episode of the podcast Through Your Thoughts with.
Lydia. Yes, so today we're going to be discussing a very personal yet universal topic, and I'm sure we all have struggled with this at one point, at one phase in our lives. Everybody has had to struggle with this at some point in their lives, and the topic is forgiveness.
Forgiveness. Yeah, let it go.
Forgiveness. Like, why is it so hard? Like, why do we have to forgive? Does forgiving always mean forgetting? So let's dive in with the topic today. Today I have with me my guest. Her name is Chinasa, a friend and a professional colleague. So, Chinasa, we are going to be starting with you, of course. What is forgiveness? Like, why does it have to be so hard? What does it even mean to forgive?
To me, forgiveness is letting go, releasing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you forgive, it's for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's just letting go of those hurtful emotions, the thought of having revenge, just letting everything go and releasing, freeing yourself. Yes, freeing yourself from the pain.
Hmm.
It might be little to the person that did it to you. It might not
Because
mean,
they always never
yeah,
see
it
it
might not
as
mean a lot
anything
to them, but
serious. Yeah.
for yourself, you just
Mm-hmm.
have to forgive that person. You just have to release that emotion.
Mm.
And I don't think it's forgetting. I don't
Mm.
agree that forgiving has to
Has
come with
to come
forgetting.
with forgetting.
Because when
Yeah.
you forget, it's as if you're letting go of all the lessons you've learned from that experience. So I don't quite agree that
With
forgiving
forgiving.
and forgetting
Can
has
the
to be.
human brain even forget? I don't think I can
No,
forget.
they are like easy, or should I say, small
Yeah,
situations that you
less.
can forget. Let's say a friend did not invite you for her birthday.
I cannot
You,
forget that one.
I will forget it. Like, okay, it has
Okay.
happened. We can move past that in our friendship.
Mm-hmm.
But there are really hurtful things that a friend will do to you, and
Yeah, I will cut deep.
you forgive the person, but because you want peace, you have to either let
Just
the
let
friendship.
go.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So before we move on to the next question, I would like to share a quote by Louise B. Smithers, and it goes: "To forgive is to set a prisoner free, and then you discover that that prisoner was you." Yeah, because the truth is, the science of forgiveness, I know I have experienced many times that when I decide to truly and fully let something go in my heart of hearts, I feel better. I don't, it's not even about, because truly, if we look at it, if I say I don't forgive a particular person, especially when the person is not remorse, when the person does not
Remorseful,
feel,
does
yeah, when
not
the person does
feel
not feel any
any
sort of
sort of.
remorse towards you for what they did, trust me, you're the one that's going to be hurting. You're the one that's going to feel all that pain and anguish and bitterness. So if you are saying, "Oh, I'm going to hold on, I'm not going to forgive," it doesn't really affect the other person.
At all.
Even when the person is doing remorse, it doesn't really affect the other person. The person is like, "Okay, I'm sorry," and people always feel like, "Oh, saying I'm sorry is like the icing on the cake, just sort of clear everything."
I don't quite agree with
Of
the fact
course.
that you just do something to somebody and say I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But why forgiveness is important is because you don't have to wait for that I'm sorry.
Mm.
You don't have to wait to hear I'm sorry from the person.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing it whether they deserve it or they don't deserve it. So you're
Whether they
forgiving the
deserve it or
person
not.
because, let's say from the Christian point, you're forgiving the person because it has been commanded to forgive. You're
Of
forgiving the
course.
person because you have to go
Oh
to.
God.
You're forgiving the person because you,
Yes, yes,
even
yes.
while worshiping, Jesus said that when you want to go and drop off, and if there's somebody that has hurt you, you have to
Wait
leave,
first.
go
Do what you are
and
doing. Go and
reconcile with the
reconcile with your
person
neighbor. Yeah.
before you come back to. So I think like it's for you. Just
Mm-hmm.
let
It's
go.
really for yourself, for your well-being.
Whether they deserve it, whether they say I'm sorry, whether they are remorseful, just forgiveness is about you.
It's
I
about
feel
you
people should see it
first.
from
First
that point
about you,
now.
yeah.
It's not as if you're doing anybody a favor. It's not as if you're forgiving. You're forgiving actually. It's not as if
Mm-hmm.
you're letting somebody go. You're actually
Mm-hmm.
letting yourself go.
Yourself go.
Because if you hold those emotions,
Mm-hmm.
what it does is it makes you bitter.
Bitter.
You
That's the
you
word.
just
That's just
you
it.
just slowly slip into the bitterness. You
Mm-hmm.
won't know because, oh, this person has hurt me. Why is good happening to this person?
It's just, I guess it's just because we always expect karma to fight our battles for us. Like, deal with this person for me. All right.
That's
So
true.
I'd like, I don't know, what do you Do you have a personal story you'd like to share with us as regards forgiving, forgiveness, and all that comes with it?
Um, there are a lot of stories to tell because even from primary school, you have people making fun of you. Oh, you have big eyes. Yeah, I have big eyes, and those kind of things. And
Yeah,
those ones are petty.
very pretty.
But last year, I had a situation where a friend really hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, like what she did hurt me so much that I was crying while on the phone with her, and
Mm,
there was no remorse from her.
yeah.
But I had to let it go. Did I reconcile with her? Did I take it a step further by wanting to rebuild that friendship? No. But did I forgive her? Yes, I had to. It was really hurtful. I can't
Mm-hmm.
give details of what
Happens.
transpired, but
Yeah.
like I had a friend. We've been friends for more than 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just like a behavior she displayed, and I'm like,
Be this.
no remorse, nothing. And I had to just let it go.
Mm,
For my own self, I had to erase the whole emotion and just
for yourself.
for myself.
Yeah. That's the hardest part. Yeah, when the person is not remorse. I have a personal story to give, and I think I'll just go into details. I'll not just mention names. So when I was in my year three, everybody, I don't know, I don't want to believe everybody was broke as a student, but me in particular, I was a very, very
The
broke
Lord was
student.
helping
The Lord
us.
was helping me. So I was trying, I was doing businesses here and there, but there was a particular day I had to go. I was staying off campus in my year three. So I had stepped out of my house to go to campus. I had just 1,000 naira on me, or 500, very little money, sha, because I don't think they got to 1,000 naira. I had to go to campus for a class. By the time I was done, my mind was that okay, I will meet my friend after class, borrow money from her to like sustain myself for the rest of the evening because I didn't have anything for myself for that day. And by the time I got to class, we were done with all our classes. I kept looking for my friend. By the time we were done with classes for the day, I didn't find her. She didn't come to school. And I didn't want to even like try to be calling, oh, can you help me with money? I felt it was easier to like meet her to like
In
ask
person.
her
Yeah.
for the money. I felt so stuck, and I didn't have a lot of friends back in school. And you know now everybody has their own pride. Like you don't want to just walk up to some. I can't even walk up to some random person
To ask for
asking them
money,
for
yeah.
money. Like, who are you? So I would refer to this person as Mr. A. This person was actually was supposed to be very responsible for me at the time. I would say the person was more like a guardian. The person was supposed to be very responsible for me at the time, and I called and like, please, I need 1,000 naira. I cannot forget. I asked for 1,000 naira. Can you like help me 1,000 naira? I'm stuck on campus. I don't know what to do. I don't want food to eat this evening. Can you help me? And this person will go on to swear that I don't want 1 naira on me right now. I don't want one kobo. I don't want 1 naira. Nothing, nothing. Like, you know, there are some people that you ask for money that when they give you their own life story, you go and beg and give them money. That was the vibe I was getting from that person that day. And I started feeling bad even after calling the person. Like, I had to just, when I ended the call, I started praying for him that, how can a person of
Yeah.
this, at this phase of his life say that he doesn't have 1,000
It's
naira? Like,
actually good of you
I
to pray
started,
for
I
them.
started praying that,
Some people
God,
would have held
please.
it like,
No,
why
this
won't you
we've
give me
not
money?
gotten to the part. Wait, like I was like, God, please help this man know that how is someone that is like in the level of his life say he doesn't have 1,000 naira. That was on a Tuesday. On a Thursday, my somebody called me. I don't want to mention who called me. I was like, have you seen Mr. So and so pictures? Are you on Facebook? I was like, I'm not on Facebook. Oh. Have you seen so and so person's pictures? I was like, pictures where? Go and open Facebook, look for Facebook, search for his profile on Facebook and see the pictures he posted. Guess what? This person threw a full blown wedding. See, I am not being entitled to this person's money, but the relationship between I and this person required me to actually be entitled to their money. Not like, but yeah, the person was responsible for me, was responsible for like my welfare.
Well, fair,
Do
yeah.
you understand? So I saw that this person did a wedding.
If the
Full,
1,000 naira was part
bro,
of the wedding plan, I'm
please
not
don't tell
there.
me that. I cried. I cried like a fool that day. I cried so bad. Like it was so painful to me that the reason why it hurts me so
It
much
was
was
just
because
1,000. That was
not
like
just
your
1,000 naira. The person did not call me back. I'm telling you, this person is 100 supposed to be 100% responsible for me. The person did not call me back to say, "Oh, did you later get the money?
how
Did you
did you
later leave
manage?
campus? How did you manage?" I told this person I had not eaten. Like I needed money to like survive for the rest of the day. I was broken. It took me a very long time. It's not like it's not like I would see the person and not communicate with the person. But the thing is, my preferred way of forgiving is to actually have a conversation with the person and be like,
Let
you
the
know what,
person know.
this thing you did, I do not like it, and this is what you did to me, and I've forgiven you, but I just need to let you know. You need to have it in your head that you offended me. But I never like really. I'm sure this person thought he played a smart one on me. So now let's highlight the different types of forgiveness. I have here the part where you have to forgive others, where you have to seek forgiveness as well. Because now we don't have to make it look like, oh, we are the ones always to forgive. There are
Yeah.
times where we've offended people and they have to forgive us. So, and there's the part you mentioned, forgiving yourself.
Did you ever forgive yourself? Because I know at that point you felt stupid. You felt like, oh, why did I go to ask this person for
Yeah.
money? Couldn't I have asked
In
a young
fact,
person?
by
Why
the
did
time
I
I
go? Did you
communicated
forgive
the
yourself for that
story,
action?
by the time I communicated the story to a few other persons, they were like, why didn't you call me? But it's just the
Mm-hmm.
way I am. I don't like bothering people. I only bother people that I know that, okay, I should be bothering. Do you understand? So they were like, why did you embarrass yourself for 1,000 naira like that? Why would you this? So it's, I first forgive myself before I forgive this person. And I feel like, man, I've not really had the courage. Is it the courage? I'm not really brought it up with this person because I and this person, we are not, for my mental health, for my own well-being, I do not communicate with this person. To be honest, this brings us back to how unforgiveness or forgiveness affects our psychology, because forgiving a person does not always mean forgetting, like we already discussed. And sometimes it doesn't mean reconciliation,
At all.
because there's some people you have to keep at a safe
For
distance
your own
for
peace.
your own
Yeah,
peace.
so that you can
This
live at
person,
peace.
literally, when I call this person, whenever I talk or come in contact with this person, any form of contact, I'm not joking. It may sound very somehow, but I'm not joking. I always have an headache. Like I always have an headache whenever I see this person or I talk to this person. I really wish you well. I want you to do well in your life. Kudos to you.
Yeah.
But for my own, like I said, for my own well-being,
For your
this
peace.
person has to
For your
be
mental
away
health.
from me,
Yeah.
because I kid you not, I always have a migraine after having any sort of contact, either a phone call, physical meet, anything. I always have a migraine after meeting this person.
That's understandable.
Yeah. So now it comes to seeking forgiveness from others. Review yourself.
So I would I used to think that I'm a very sweet person.
Okay.
So I had this notion in my head that I cannot hurt a fly. And I'm looking at the camera to say this now because like I felt like, oh, there's no way
I could hurt.
I could hurt a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I did something to someone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just giving a story, so I talk about seeking forgiveness from others.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I did something to someone, and it was so hard, so difficult to acknowledge that
Oh, you hurt this
what I did
person.
was hurtful to the person,
Mm.
or I understand that the person was hurt, but it was so hard for me to accept that I had a hand in what
In
happened to
what
the
what
person.
happened?
So I had thought about it. The person had come to me, telling me what happened. I just always made excuses.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did not do this. So when you want to seek forgiveness from others, I think the first point would be to first acknowledge that what
Okay.
you did
Yeah.
hurt this person.
Okay.
Because without acknowledging it, whether you tell the person I'm sorry, we know that it does not have depth.
Mm-hmm.
And because we do not know the extent to which the hurt,
Must
what you
have
did,
gone.
uh, the extent to which the hurt
Yeah.
occurred, or
Because things hurt people differently. Yeah.
you define expressions different ways,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't know the extent to which that thing you did caught the person. And then see it from the point that if someone should do this to you,
how would I
how
take it?
would you take it?
But do you know there are cases where when I review it like that, I'm like, I don't think I'll take this personally. In my head, I'm like, I will review it, I will turn the tables literally. And in my head, I'm like,
It's not that
someone
deep.
has done something like this to
It's
me
not that
before, and I
deep.
didn't take it that
It's not
seriously.
that deep. As
Yeah, it's
in,
not that deep. For me, I like to say
it's
for
deep.
me, it's not that me. But for the person, yeah. Like
So
we said, people process
it's
things
different.
differently.
So
Yeah.
acknowledge that that thing it is hurtful. If you don't see it as something hurtful,
Mm-hmm.
but the person
Yeah.
found it
So
to be hurtful,
whether you
whether
find
you
it
find it
hurtful or
hurtful,
not, you have to
whether it's
consider
not
that
deep to you
person's
or it's not,
emotions.
whether it's deep or it's not deep to you,
Yeah.
consider that the person is deep to the person. It's
Yes.
important.
And
It's
yeah.
as simple as when I was growing up, I hated people telling me I had big eyes. So why are you telling me I had? It made me feel uncomfortable because with my eyes.
Mm.
You get? It felt like, oh, so why they are, so to them now they be like, oh, we're just making fun now. Why are you
It's
taking
just
it serious?
play. It's
Just
not that
play. We are
serious.
playing
But
with you.
then it's
But
something that
it did
really
something
even.
to me. Like I was no longer comfortable with my eyes.
Mm.
Oh, why do I have big eyes? Simple, I'm sorry. There are some situations that happen, and if you say I'm sorry immediately, the person just lets it go.
Person just
But
lets it
if
go.
you now leave it and allow the thing to marinate in the person's heart,
Mm.
your I'm sorry might not just cut it
Yeah,
at
yeah.
that
You've
point.
allowed the person too much time
To
to
think
process it.
think
Yeah.
about it, process everything, go through all
Mm.
the emotions of you not because you not saying
You
I'm
know, saying
sorry
I'm
at that
sorry at that
time, the
time.
person
Yeah.
too process that emotion. No, this person not tell me sorry. Why the
God
person
bless you. The person is an overthinker.
falls into our category? Sorry. Because we would have thought about 250 ways that you could have
Yes, you
said
could have
sorry,
said
but you did not
sorry.
say that
Yeah.
sorry. Not
I
deep.
feel, in fact, many times I would even tell the person that, but you two, you did the same thing to me and I did not say anything now.
Mm-hmm.
Like what you said, I always feel, because I'm the kind of person who likes to audit my life. I'm the kind of friend that I can call my friend, I can pick up my friend one day and be like, you know what? Is there anything you think I've done to you in the last 3 months? And you have to think. I'll make you answer the question. That's the kind of friend that I am. I will ask you questions that would make you think about our friendship. So having being that person that does that, most times I feel like I've not offended you. But
Because you've tried
because I've tried.
to
But
see.
recently, was it recently or last year? Within the last 6 months though, I made sure I was very thorough with it. In fact, I planned the questions and I started popping up on my friends one by one. And I made sure it was not a phone call, physical conversations. I'm like, is there any time? Think about it. The person will be like, oh no, you didn't do anything. Oh no, think about it. Think about
See,
it. The person is like, is there anything in your mind? I'm like, there's really nothing in my mind, but I feel you should just think,
yeah, just
and you will be
evaluate our friendship.
so surprised.
One
One
small
small
thing
thing.
that you did
One time
before.
the person said that I finished loosening my hair in the house and I didn't sweep. I allowed her to sweep. And I'm like, I didn't think about it like that.
You
You
don't
were
take
already,
it serious,
I
but
didn't,
she now.
for me, I moved my hair from the floor and you were already sweeping by the time I was already loosening my hair. Like, I wasn't waiting for you to, like, by the time I now finished, it was, I don't know, it didn't even occur to me. In fact, it was even because you mentioned it now, she is like, oh, I didn't even dip it like that. She said it. I didn't dip it like that, but at the moment, it felt somehow like,
Why?
oh, why?
Why?
I'm
She,
like,
she
oh,
finished
okay.
listening
Now
in my house.
I'm
How is she
glad I'm
leaving?
glad we had this conversation. Next time, I know.
You know to
So
sweep
yeah, so
when you.
it's seeking forgiveness for from others is very complicated, especially when you're not the person who knows. Oh, okay, what did I do? Why is the person taking? So now we are now going to forgiving ourselves, because do you know there is a case where you can forgive somebody and you've not forgiven yourself because you're like you said earlier, why was I even that stupid? And to be honest, there are many situations, even with me right now, as we sit, as we speak, like that, where I do not think I have wholly forgiven myself for. I'm like, how could you be so stupid, Lydia? You should know better. Like, I'm like, if somebody comes to meet me and asks for counsel as regarding this thing, I'll tell the person, no, don't be the footmat for anybody. You should stand up to yourself. And in my own case, I didn't stand up for myself. And I'm like, why did I allow myself to be so used? Why? So it's this issue of how do we even start with forgiving ourselves?
Acknowledging that that's in the person that hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, I am not confrontational. So if someone does something to me, I don't confront the situation immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that because of the kind of upbringing I had, I forgive immediately. I leave the place, I've forgiven the person.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say I've forgiven the person, I don't hold that thing against the person, but
Mm-hmm.
then I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think about the reaction or things that I could have maybe just let it out at that point, so this person knows that it actually hurt me, even if I've forgiven the person. And
Okay.
now you're thinking about it at the time where you're forgiving the person, and you just have to let the hurt and everything go.
Mm-hmm.
But acknowledge that that thing hurt you. If you can, confront it immediately. I'm not saying you should go and fight with anybody or use insulting words at anybody.
Mm.
If you know that you can process
Process it,
the
yeah.
hurt and then talk to the person later
Mm-hmm.
in a respectful manner, then fine. But if you can still talk to the person at that time in a respectful manner, I think
Mm.
it's best you address it immediately.
It's
So
giving, let's be the bigger person. What if I don't want to be the bigger person?
that's the problem.
Mm.
Because when you go back,
Mm-hmm.
you remember that I was supposed to be the smaller person. As the person was going down, me too, I would have entered ground with the person.
Mm.
It just brings up all these emotions.
Mm.
That's why I said if you're able to confront the situation
Mm.
respectfully, because I realize that in the heat of any argument, in the heat of any anger, you will say
You
things
say
that you
things
do
you
not
don't
mean.
mean,
So
yeah.
if you know that you will be able to still say things to this person without being disrespectful, without saying things that you cannot take back,
Mm.
if you still want that friendship, then confront it immediately. Let the discussion on what the person did happen immediately, so that as you're living there, for someone like me, as I'm leaving that place, I'm forgiving the person. Like
Mm.
it just happens.
Mm.
Maybe because I've already prepared my mind that people will definitely be people and they will
People
hurt
always
you.
be human
So
beings,
as I'm
yeah.
living there, but the effect of what that person did will be ringing in my head. And maybe things I could have said to the person to make the person better understand how I felt at that time, I
Mm-hmm.
did not say it.
Mm.
So I think you acknowledge that that thing hurt you,
Mm-hmm.
then confront it if you can immediately
Mm-hmm.
and let it go.
So me, on the other hand, I am very confrontational. In fact, I had to caution myself right from when I was young because immediately you are doing that rubbish, I am calling you out now, 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 now. But growing up, I later realized that many times I was always in my feelings and I'll say things that I did not mean. Literally, honestly did not mean. But out of the heat of the
And
moment.
then you cannot go
And
and take them back
I can't
because
take them
your
back.
pride will not allow you
Of
to now
course,
go
I
and tell
can't
this
take
person
them
that
back.
that thing I
Even
said
though
to.
it's not about pride. The person might not want to talk to me again.
Mm-hmm.
So what I now do is, if you've hurt me, I'm just going to be quiet, very quiet, actually, dangerously quiet. In fact, you too, you will know that you've hurt me. I'm not going to give any expressions, but you know because of the kind of person I am, I'm very chitty. I'm very chatty rather. I'm very chatty. So when we are together, especially when I'm with someone I'm comfortable with, my mouth will run. I'll run my mouth very. But the moment I'm not quiet around you, you will know that
Something.
something has happened. So I'll be very quiet. I wouldn't say anything. And you may ask me, and I'm like, you know what, I'm fine. I don't want to talk right now. Maybe when I'm in a better state of mind, I'll talk to you. And I'll most definitely talk to you. So if you're not a confrontational person, I think the best thing is to first of all have to acknowledge that the person hurt you. And maybe later, maybe during, I don't know, but the truth is, whether you like it or not, to be able to fully forgive a person, you really have to bring up the conversation with the person.
So
Not confrontationally, but you just have to like have a conversation about it. And that's what I do now.
so for me, I think that if I let it slide at that time,
Mm.
I'm not going to be able to
Come back to it.
come back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to bring up emotions that I've tried to sup- suppress. So something like you hurt me, I just let it go. I wouldn't want to visit the issue again.
Mm.
Except there's like a situation that is just me and you, and we have to really talk about things like that.
So yeah, the dynamics are different for different people.
There are situations where I know that you warrant bringing it up, and then
Mm.
I'll bring it up. But for really trivial things that I think
Of
that
course,
I can
trivial things
move
that,
past,
especially when you're not someone that really, I don't say it don't mean a lot to me, but we've not gotten to that extent of friendship that I would really want
me,
to.
I sure used
It
to
really
hold every
depends.
friendship important.
It's not friendship. There are some, there are acquaintances. There are people that there's okay,
Yeah, so there's people that will do things to you and
yes, and you
just
just, and another person that's close to you do
will
that,
do that same
and that's
thing.
where the talk comes, that not you that you are my friend, you that you are close to me, that you know
You
me like this, why you do me this
why
kind of
person go
thing.
to, yeah, I get
Yeah,
that.
so it depends on, it really depends on the level of relationship. I
Yes,
try not to expect too
who
much from people. That's
I
one way
think
I
that's the
try to
best way for
safeguard myself.
forgiveness.
Yes,
Eh. Just
always, I
prepare your
always keep
mind.
that allowance for
Prepare your mind
one day
that
you
human
might,
beings will be
yes,
human beings.
you
People will
you display your human
definitely
side one
they will
day,
definitely do things, whether consciously or unconsciously. Whether they
unconsciously.
know that this thing they are doing is going to
Is
hurt you or
wrong.
not, they
Yeah,
will
yeah,
do
they
it.
will do it.
So just give that room
Allowance.
for human expression. Let's put
Yeah,
it that way.
yeah.
Human expression.
Okay, so I think I saw someone once said that I have forgiven you, but you can no longer have the same access anymore. I've just cut off access, but you are forgiven truly and fully.
Yes,
You are
truly and
forgiven.
fully. If I see you on the road,
I
I
would
would
say
smile
hello,
with
I'll
you,
smile with
say
you,
hello
but
to you, but
just access is gone. You no longer
let
have
us
access to
let
hurt
us be
me
greeting from
like
over
that, because
there.
it's even better that way, because there are some people they never change. And there are some things, there's forgiveness and there's forbearance. There is forbearance in the aspect that there are things you can keep taking from somebody. It's just like somebody that is a parrot and you don't like parrots, and people are talking to my ear. You're just going to have to forgive that person. Yeah,
Yeah.
forbear rather with that person. That's not a
Mm-hmm.
case of forgiveness. But there are some things that are not forbearable. You just forgive them and just, you know what, move.
Yeah.
So let's discuss on the practical steps to forgiveness. And there is the aspect where we have to like journal to process these thoughts. Because for some people, like for people that are not confrontational, they have to have another way where you cannot bring it up. So I don't know if it's something you practice, you giving you that you're not confrontational. Do you have to like process your thoughts maybe by journaling, or even have to go for therapy? Because there's a way a person will hurt you. You need to visit the
I
therapist.
recently just started therapy, but
Mm.
before now, I talk to God. I'm a Christian. So I talk to God. I go to God and I wail. While I'm in my room, I just cry and tell God that you know that this thing this person did to me, it pain me. I
Pain
can't do
me.
anything to the person. The way process your thoughts, I think about things. So hey, God, overthinking. I will cut it into bits. All the everything the person said, I will process it one after the
One
other,
after
trying
the
to
other.
know
How did
why,
this person,
what did it.
why, what does this person
So when
mean?
I finish all those my processing, I take it
Mm.
to God and
There's something I started practicing. But as I started practicing, I think I've always been that kind of person where I just try to see the person from another lens. Like I said, I always give allowance for your human side to express itself. That is one. Two, I'm like, you know what? Everybody has their own. Like the common expression, people know the good finish.
mm,
So I always give that allowance for people to hurt, to
mm-hmm,
be themselves, to be their human
to
selves.
show
And
their
I just practice more like empathy. Like, you know what, maybe if you couldn't help it, I'm sure if you could control, if you could help it, if
yeah.
there's something within your control, you probably don't want to
I'm
intentionally
sure
hurt
they
me.
wouldn't. The
And
person
even
does not
if
even know.
you, yeah, and even if you intentionally hurt me, you know what, it's your orientation, it's how you were probably raised, or it's how you see life, and that's okay. But like we said, we're cutting off the access. You're not gonna be hurting me a second time, thank you. So yeah, so what are your final reflections on this topic? What would you like to tell somebody out there that is struggling to forgive somebody? Because I know I have met quite a number of people who would say, this thing where this person do me, this thing that this person did to me, I will never forgive this person. And in my head, I'm like, okay, this person has apologized, but because of how hurt you are, you're saying you're never going to forgive. And them never forgiving is um, keeping malice, holding on to grudges, bitterness, and all of that. And I'm like, I don't personally, for me, I don't know how to keep malice. I don't know. I will break down the moment I see you. Like, not like break down, but I'll just let all my guard down. Like, I don't know how to hold. No matter how much anybody has ever in this life, I don't know. There's a place, malice is different from keeping this a distance from this person. There's a place of keeping your distance, but I don't think I can keep malice. I know, because the level of there's a way your chest will just tighten. Like, I'm not going to be okay, right? So, what do you have to say to somebody out there who is, because there are people who actually know how to hold on to grudges and malice and bitterness and everything. What do you have to say to someone out there who is struggling with forgiveness, trying to, and even trying to, struggling with forgiving themselves?
First of all, for when you're struggling with forgiving others, I want you to know that it's okay to remember what the person did to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay because there are lessons you will learn from what the person did to you. So
Mm-hmm.
it's okay for you to remember what this person did to you, but for your own sake, let go of the bitterness because forgiveness will slowly creep into bitterness. Just let
Mm-hmm.
it go.
Mm-hmm.
Let this person go in your heart. If you are a Christian, pray about it and just let it go. Let the emotions go. But if it's a really, really hurtful situation, remember what the person did. Remember the lessons you learned from that situation.
Mm-hmm.
If it's somebody you don't want in your space anymore, that's fine. You
Mm-hmm.
don't wish bad on the person. You're not holding any thought of vengeance
Mm-hmm.
or avenging what the person did. You're not
Mm-hmm.
holding any evil thought towards the person. You've
Mm-hmm.
let it go. So it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can keep what the person did because
Aside,
definitely you will something might just happen on
mm,
the road and you remember what that person did and be like,
of
oh,
course,
this
something
thing
will
don't
always bring
happen
you
again.
back
Oh, so
to
it's
what
okay to
happened.
think of what the person did, learn the lessons, but just let the person go for your own sake, for your own peace,
Mm.
because it's a lot of stress to hold
Hold on to
somebody,
bitterness or hold
onto
anybody in your
something that
heart.
somebody did to
But
you.
this brings me to a question. How do you know in your heart of hearts? Because this is a thing of is a psychological thing. So how do you know what are the indicators that, oh, I have actually truly, truly forgiven this person?
For me,
Mm-hmm.
it's first that I no longer think about the. It might come up and then I'll remember the lessons. Oh, this person really do me this thing, or
Mm.
but I I I would see the person if you're still holding a grudge against someone. When you see the person, you'll not
You'll not be
be.
at peace, you'll not be
Or
comfortable.
if you're maybe you have a group of friends that you used
Mm.
to be friends with one particular person, and
Mm-hmm.
then somebody brings up a conversation about that person that has hurt you, there's a
Mm-hmm.
way you react.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have really forgiven that person, when they bring up the person, you will not be forced to want to talk about what the person did to you.
Mm.
They'll bring up the person like, oh, okay, you've moved, you've moved on.
Past
If they
all of
shared,
that.
if they share good news about the person, oh, yeah, thank God for the person, and you know you've moved on. But if you're holding a grudge, they might share good news about the person and be like,
Yeah.
so it really happens to that person.
So for
It's as if you're not wishing good for the person, but
mm,
if you've let it go, definitely you will
you
see it.
feel it.
The changes will small, small, small. You will see
For
things.
me, how I know I've truly and fully let somebody go in my heart is that I'm at peace. I'm not troubled. I know that when I come across this person, in fact, when I come across this person anywhere, I can literally hug them. I can say I can even check on the person once in a while. Of course, I've cut off access, but I can once in a while be like, "Oh, how are you? How are you doing?" That's how I know I have truly and let somebody
If
go.
I cut
Another
access, sha,
thing
I
is,
know they go back to it to ask you. I'm not asking how you are. If I hear good news about you, I'll be happy
you'll be
for you.
happy
But
for you, but
I'm
okay.
not
Well, for me, it's
checking.
not like I'm going to consider check on you, but I don't know. Somehow, I'm just going to the thought of what you did to me will no longer come to me as often
The
as it
thought is
used
not
to.
coming, but I'll not remember to check up. Not even
Okay,
once.
that well, it's different for different people. It's different for people. So one thing about forgiveness, I would say, is allow yourself the time to process the hurt. So if you are not the confrontational type, you can journal about it. You know, journaling helps us process our thoughts better.
Writing
It
them,
helps
yeah.
us, yeah, writing it out. You can sometimes allow your emotions free. Do not hold on to the tears. Do not hold on to whatever emotions that will come to you at the time. Just let yourself be, allow yourself process it with the time. The healing that comes with forgiveness takes quite some time. I know it's easy for us to say, oh, forgive and forget, or just forgive.
There's a place
It
of
there's a
time.
place of, yeah, time has to take its course. Place of where you are bitter or you are just feeling terrible for allowing yourself to be in that situation with that person in the first place. So yeah, it's different for different people. Take yourself the time, allow yourself, make sure you're no longer in that state of, as much as you can, as fast as you can, take yourself out of that space of bitterness, out of that place of anguish, just to allow yourself some peace. The truth is, if you allow yourself retaliate,
Hmm.
you're going to feel worse off because
It's not your person, especially when it's
it's
not.
you stooping low.
It's especially when it's not something you would do on a normal day,
Yes.
and you
Mm.
just had to do it because I'm speaking from experience, because this person did something, said something to me, I have to say something back to
You
the
have to say
person,
something about
or
it.
this person did
Nah.
something to me, I have to do something back to the person.
Give the person peace of
When you now
mind.
go back, you now be like, ah,
I
this
wasn't
is not
supposed to. This
me.
is not me.
Normally, I
Yeah.
would just walk out of situations like this. So
Yeah.
why did
Yeah.
I
Why
allow
did
this
I allow this
person?
person to get better? Yeah.
So don't fall
Yeah.
into that place of wanting to.
Because
That's why you
the
have to
truth,
let it
for the
go.
few times I have retaliated, you now begin to look like the aggressor. Like nobody, with the way you react, with the way you respond to the situation, people will no longer even look at what the person did. It's now how you reacted to it that
Then I'm like,
ah,
and that's one thing that
it
person
reached
did.
like
I'm
that.
like,
So for the few times I have allowed my emotions get the better part of me, I regretted it, because in fact I now feel worse of, like, because I should have just let it be. I should have
it
just,
will
you know
make the
what,
person
I've
look
given
so
too much.
big.
Yes, I've given the person too much of my energy. I've given too much of me to that person. Like the person now looks like, no,
And
I really shouldn't have wasted that effort on that person. That
sometimes
was a
the
lot of
way you
effort. I
react
would,
to make you look stupid.
exactly, yeah.
The person might have done something, and then you just go and react.
Mm,
And then people will be looking at you. Hope everything is okay.
mm.
Maybe you will not be the one that is looking stupid
Yeah,
on top
so on top of
somebody
something
that
that,
made you angry or
yeah,
somebody that
yeah,
did something. So the best would be
the
to
best, yeah,
always
as much
let
as you
it go as
can.
much.
So yeah, back to our listeners, I want you to think about it, reflect. What is something you're really struggling to forgive, and what is holding you back? What do you think is holding you back? Do you have a story of how somebody really hurt you and how you're struggling to forgive that person? If you'd like to share your story via text, please send an
I would
email
love
to
to read.
through your thoughts. Yeah, we'd love to read them. Send an email to through your thoughts with Lydia at gmail.com. One word. Through your thoughts with Lydia, one word, at gmail.com. And we would more than be happy to read out your story and, give our insights on it, and maybe ask for public insights. And if you'd like to do a video or something, please reach out to us on social media. I am on Instagram as Lady Lydia, and Chinaza, you're on Instagram as
Nasawan.
okay. So please, we'll be expecting your feedback, and we hope you really got a lot from this episode. Till next time, we'll have you on our screens. Bye.